Okay, this is a little kind of like behind the scenes. Well, not behind the scenes, but that guy is behind the scenes there. You see him? That's Paul Reagan. We're trying to film a video and he's doing this thing. But again, then Tommy's there. You can't really say much. So this is a little panel and we're going to talk about learning new things. Okay, so let's get this video started. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another YouTube video like the ones you've asked for. Again, we've got a panel of 4 different magicians and we're going to talk about... What are we going to talk about?
Learning new things.
Learning new things. Excellent. So, let's start with introductions first. So we're going to start with Alex here. Alex, tell us quickly about how you got into magic and what kind of magic do you do?
I got into magic by watching street performers, basically. So Noel Britton, he was in Bath. Yeah, he was in Bath. Comedy magic, and it really appeals. So I've been a comedy magician, mostly stage, a bit of close-up, but the first stage because you get a bit more time.
Excellent. Me, you know. Let's go quickly to Liam. Well, Liam, you know, and Florian, you know. Okay, perfect. So Alex is the only new one on this channel. So let's start with Alex first because he's got something very interesting. Now I was downstairs in the club room and we had a quick chat and Alex said that he never does the same thing twice. And I thought that is unbelievable. Like for me, I do the same thing for the last 5-10 years, I don't know how long. So let's find out about learning new things, and first of all, why don't you do the same thing twice?
I'm going to get shot for this, aren't I? I think, well, so I wouldn't say never. I think I've done the odd thing 3 times. But usually what it is, I practice it and I work it in my mind. And then the first time I perform it, if it's gone really, really well, that's it, it's in the bag.
Really?
For me. So for me, I think there's an element of actually that performance was so good. I threw everything in that I wanted to throw in. It got all the responses that I want, and that's it. So for me, that trick's had its moment, its glory.
Wait, so when you say it's in the bag, that means it's the best time you've done it, and that you'll never do that again, or it's in the bag and like I know exactly what to do.
No, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. It's had its moment. It's had its moment in the sun. It's basked. It's tanned gloriously. It's good. It's the same with jokes. So I used to have a good joke about the suit that I came on with, and I did that joke twice. It got really good laughs both times. So I thought, well, what's the point in saying a joke if I know the response?
But don't you think it's going to get better because it's like flight time? Wouldn't it get better if it's great already? Imagine how polished it would be. I mean, there's good and bad things about it, so I'm just trying to be put the negative points.
I'm sure there are a lot of people pointing out the negatives in my theory.
But don't you ever kind of get into the situation where you think, well, actually, I've got this trick, or I've got this effect, or I've got this gag, or I've got this joke, and it's so good, I'm going to leave it in there because the more really wholesome good, like if you do a show from start to finish that is just ram-packed with side-splitting, hilarious, amazing stuff, like you'd be the hottest thing on the shelf.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, maybe I'm being very selfish, but I think that I sort of perform really for myself quite a lot.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I know there's an element of you really should give the audience the best show that you could possibly do. But I quite like the idea of not knowing what the response to a trick's going to be, or whether a joke is funny. Is that line funny? I don't know. I think it's really funny. So I'll go on stage. I'll give it 100% the gag, and I think 90% I've got a hit rate.
Interesting. Wow.
And it leads to really good experiences. It means you've got to in some way ad lib, be really flexible. So you've never done it before, so you're not entirely sure.
Wow.
So you have to know how to be relaxed with people, and a lot of it comes from.
I couldn't, so I don't think any of us agree with you in your point, but it's great to have a point because I'm sure you have good points to go with that. You can't really just think of, but you know, it's a good idea. Good idea to do that. I couldn't personally.
I think I fully agree with your point, but it's definitely not for me. Like, I don't know about you guys.
I have to be so polished to go up on stage and do something. I I'd be so nervous to do something I've never done before. And then to think about it's the last time I'm ever going to do it. If it was great, I'd do it again, right?
I think I'm sometimes like half and half. So if I go up on stage, I'll inevitably, if I'm doing like 4 or 5 effects, I'll probably do something and I'll squeeze in the middle that I've never done before.
Okay.
Like it might be my first performance for a live audience, so that no matter what happens, they're going to see something that's really good.
I think most magicians do that.
Yeah.
So let's not crowd
I will
upon
tell you,
Alex
the trick with slipping in something new that I do notice quite often if you watch a magician, you can tell the new bit when it's coming up.
Oh really?
Their swagger, bravado, suddenly goes into. Now I'm going to do this.
And you're like, okay, that's new. Okay.
So that's something to watch, I think.
So out of curiosity, because I think for us we know there's a safety in practice and rehearsal and doing it 100 times and then doing it 100 times in a safe area and then doing it 100 times in a corporate area or whatever, and there's safety in that because we know our steps. We can measure, okay, I can do this trick 9 times out of 10, let's try it in front of people. Okay, 9 times out of 10, this happened, okay, in front of people, I'll do it for a paying audience. And you build up like that, perhaps. However, how do you do that?
But his act is very different. See, you said you're more of a comedy magician, right?
Yes. So there is always an escape route in the fact that if you can make it into a joke. But to be honest, I've never failed. I don't remember a trick actually going
I
wrong.
remember many times I
think your style is different because you're more of a juggler. So when you make a mistake, it's a mistake. If you make a mistake, it could be a joke.
Well, there was a time. I'll tell you the time that you could, if you remember the Magic Turtle, you could look it up. The South London did a show here.
Okay. Yes.
And I opened the Chinese sticks before I'd said about the string between them.
Okay.
So I said a lot of people think there's a string between them, then I had to quickly close them because obviously I don't. So I done it too soon. I said, well, obviously not now you don't, but you would have. And a lot of people thought that was meant to be there.
Right. Yeah. See.
Right.
That's what I'm saying,
and it got a big laugh. So actually, if I practiced more, rehearsed more, I would have missed out on a laugh and a moment, and a good moment. So maybe it's a payoff. Maybe the good moments come from having to think on your feet.
I've got a question for you. Do you ever write down the routines that you'd like, even if you're never going to do it again? Have you ever written them down, or like, have you got like a book or a all the gags and a diary and stuff?
No, sometimes on the way on the way to the gig, I'll probably write down what I want, and I'll notice if there are gaps.
And what? On the way to the gig?
On the way to the gig, on the tube. I think the panic does something to my mind. It's a bit like, so damn, I've got to say something there. So I'll go, okay, what's happened? Wimbledon's happened. That young girl was very good. She'd only been practicing for 10 years, so I can say something about, she's in Wimbledon finals after 10 years. After 10 years, I'm playing this dump hole. So that was a quick gag that I'll write on the way to the tube, flip through the metro, write some stuff to fill in where there are gaps. So I'm conscious that there are no gaps.
Have you ever thought about not doing magic and just doing stand-up comedy? Like complete
I want to go and see your show now. I mean, I genuinely want to go and see it.
I'll tell you what I do try and do. I do try and make the trick. So it's not practicing the tricks, it's really understanding them. So I never do a trick that I don't understand. I understand where the comedy's going to come from and the path the trick's going to take. And so I just try and make it as entertaining as possible with the understanding of the trick. So, I mean, I'm not like Florian, so I don't juggle, so I'm not technically, I'll understand the techniques.
Probably more successful though, so.
I think Alex might be one of the most creative magicians I think I've ever met.
Probably, yeah, now that I didn't know about that, but this is such an interesting subject. But speaking about interesting subjects, and this video is all about learning new things, and I know Florian said earlier he's learning cardistry. So your background's obviously a juggler that we found in the last video, and you said you're learning a new thing which is cardistry. And for those who don't know what cardistry is, please explain instead of me explaining.
Oh, I'm not sure I can solidly explain because, as I say, I am learning it. Still in the beginning steps, so I might not fully understand
so
it.
In brief, cardistry is a term given to people who do sort of juggling, but I think for me it's more of a creative art form using just a deck of cards. Now it's not a it's not a card trick, but it's sort of tricks that you're doing with cards. So it's a lot more on the skill side, a lot more shuffling and cutting and basically creating illusions, physical illusions, as opposed to with card tricks you're doing more counting cards or remembering your card. You're not doing any of that. You're just manipulating cards in your hand. That's
some really beautiful stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what's called.
It's a great display of skill.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're going to do a card trick and you just want to display that you know your way around cards, a quick bit of cardistry to start off with.
Yeah.
They'll go, okay, you're not my uncle. I don't think the trick you're going to do I've seen before.
Weird candid.
I'm now again. A lot of magicians are of different opinions about not doing flourishing in your magic. Again, maybe we'll have a chat about someone because I'm of the opinion that we should, especially if I'm commanding a higher sort of fee. As opposed to, I want to show them that I've practiced. But again, that's my opinion. We can have another video about this, maybe of someone who does it. I think most of us here do want to show a bit of skill, and I think we'll have someone who actually is with the opposite opinion to me on another video. But I think, speaking about cardistry,
for me it was very interesting to learn it, because as I am a juggler, conceptually you would assume I'm used to practicing and
Picking things up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm used to cards by now.
Okay.
Even if I'm not professional, I've been doing card tricks for like 3-4 years. I know cards, the feeling and how they. I know how to cut cards.
Yeah.
And I see cardistry, and initially I was like, I'm a juggler, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like you see it and you go like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would have to practice, but I could do that. And then I started practicing it, and I was like, wait, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, this takes weeks.
And I think some of the moves that you're talking about when you're doing card moves, I think you were trying to hide certain moves or make it look. It's basically the opposite. You're trying to make a technical move look clean and like you've not done anything. But with cardistry, sometimes you're making an easy move, making it look as hard as possible. Maybe moving your hands a little more and just adding another. So maybe that's an interesting
Creating
point.
real synergy and flow with what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how often do you try or learn new things?
So generally, for me, I'm very much the opposite of Alex. I usually get a new concept for an act or a performance. I delve into history. I try and look at what everybody has done before, and I try to inspire myself from that and learn those things. That usually happens every 2 years.
2 years. Wow, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't learn a lot of new things, but let's find out about Liam. How often do you learn new things or new routines?
I've been learning new things, I think, pretty consistently for the last few years. But I'll pick up a thing and I'll really sort of play around with it. So the cutout thing that I did, I think I played around with for sort of 4 or 5 weeks, and a lot of the playing around with it that I do actually happens in my head. So I spend a lot of time in the car, so if I'm driving around I'll be thinking about what I'm doing or thinking about how to do it, and trying to find the best way around getting a particular thing in or doing that kind of thing. So I spend a lot of time thinking about things, but every once in a while, I think it happens quite regularly, is when I'm at a gig. In fact, I was at a wedding, I was at 2 weddings at the weekend. And on both occasions they were doing the speeches and they went, and now our magician, and I was like okay, I have nothing planned.
Wow.
And I was really fortunate because the first time round I thought about doing a thing, so I just got on, I gave it a beautiful introduction, I addressed the room, I presented some nice words to them, and then I presented something, and then it happened again at the next wedding, and it was the exact same thing, and I thought, oh no, I can just do it again. And I did the exact same thing all over again, and that's all of a sudden it's now become something which is going to be absolutely part of my routine. I'm going to start saying to people, hey, when you've done your speeches, how's about if I do this? And they'll be like, oh yeah, brilliant. And I've got this lovely, wonderful sort of all-inclusive script that's quite concise, but it's nice. So I think there's kind of swings and roundabouts, but I definitely am always learning new stuff. But I like to know that I can get to a point that when I can perform it, I can perform it, and it might not go very, very well, or it might not be amazing, or it might not be funny, or it might not look great, but I can get there and I can learn a lot from it, and then I can workshop that and carry on.
So would you say for you, you're kind of in between
I think so,
Alex
yeah.
and me then? Because I really like prepare and over prepare and then like freak out and forget half. use, improvise, keep the bits you like. Not
think so.
improvise all the time,
Yeah.
but every now and then.
And I think it depends. I mean, I learned a trick a few weeks ago, and the thing to learn was a script, and it was a really complex, complicated script with lots of ridiculous words and phrases. But you had to get it in order because the concept of the script was that nobody's going to understand a word I'm saying, yet they'll know exactly what I mean, which is the intro it has. And it was, the script is about 3 minutes long, and it's a monologue of 3 minutes. Wow. But it has interesting words like hyper-Brogding-Nagian, and hyper-Brogding-Nagian words can make the elocutionist seem pompous and egotistical. They can alienate the audience and bewilder the listener to, and so on and so forth.
This is so him. This is so you, though. That's why I love it, and that goes on the character again. But I think we're going to have to cut this here, just because there's a lot of people. What you can't see is a lot of people finishing the lecture, coming in. They're going to do a Q&A here after the lecture, so we're going to end this video here. Bye for now.
Bye.
And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.